fam? It's your girl. We back again, rolling in these streets. I'm Shay, and I'm just bringing a sprinkle of sunshine. If I could talk straight.
Get your voice back, please.
Well, sir. Okay, so and the poker in the background is my brother Words. Say what's up, Words.
What's up? What's up, everybody? I gotta give her a little hard time to keep her on her square, but she do the same thing to me though. So
I
that's what
enjoy
family
it.
do.
We even.
Right,
So yeah.
right. So
Mm,
she gonna get me right back going around the corner shortly.
right. Him in the back of his neck real good. He leave me alone for 5 minutes.
That's all will.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about my voice. It's gonna go into the Black celebrations. So last week we did tape, and the reason why is because like thousands of people across the United States, my son graduated from high school. Woo!
Major accomplishment.
Let me tell you, and I'm proud of this kid. And it's sad at the state of the world we in, but this kid graduated with no drugs. He graduated with no arrests. He graduated with no children.
That part.
He graduated. He did the little, a couple little boy things. I'm not saying he's perfect, but he did not make me a grandmother before he got his high school diploma. So
Yeah.
I am proud of that. Okay.
All right. Kudos, mom. Good job.
Thank you. So big celebrations to all the moms and dads across America whose kid graduated. And that's why I lost my voice, because when I scream, I scrum. Okay.
All right. So it's gone for a good reason. So
Yes.
I can't give you too much of a hard time about it.
No, you can't, sir. And I would take it because regardless, listen,
All right.
it was a
I'm a
momentous
bash in the
day.
glory for you. It feels God got me over here tingling to see a young black man make it through like that. Man, yeah, and trust
Good.
me when I tell you, people, it's less that have made it there that have actually got it.
Exactly. Because let me tell you, he's a good kid. He's looking for another job because he wants to make a little more money. I'm like, you young, you don't have to scramble right now. He was like, nope, I'm tired of making $12 an hour. So I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna knock your hustle. So
Man,
I'm proud of this kid. He's gonna have a bright future if he keep on the way he going. So I'm proud of this kid. I'm proud that he graduated, and I'm done. Listen, I'm
all right,
gonna say I'm gonna be the parent right now. I am done with schedules, homework, all that crap,
man,
all them right
man.
excuse notes, all that. And we went through a whole pandemic. He was a sophomore, so we survived that year. Okay,
Wow,
so
nice.
Lord have mercy. I am done. Done. And
Yeah.
parents of children, and you got two coming up. I'm gonna say I feel sorry for y'all because the school system. Woo. So
I'm thinking homeschool.
I'm like, there's pros and cons to both, you know.
Well,
I like especially after I read this the other day. There was an incident on a school bus, and this is what a lot of bullies do, right? So there was a young lady who was getting off the bus to go home for the summer when her bully came up behind her and attacked her. And so the mother, I guess, was kind of standing there watching, and the brother kind of got up there and tried to help, but even in trying to help his sister, he got hurt. So she sent the video footage and everything else off to the district attorney's office. Do you know they told her that they would not be able to help her, that she would have to go through the school district to try and resolve this issue?
On an assault?
On an assault with
You know what I'd have
video
told them?
receipts.
You know what I'd have told them?
What?
Don't worry about it. I ain't gonna say nothing. Next school year, when my child walk in there, try it, and y'all gonna come pick that body up since y'all don't want to address it now.
This is where we going. This is why mothers is dressing up as children and going into these schools and fighting kids.
Yeah.
Kids are out of control. They
Man.
fighting grown people. And
Yeah.
then the parents want to be upset and try and fight you. Fight your kid.
Man. I ain't fighting nobody.
Mm-mm.
Hey, I don't care who you is, how old you is. I ain't fighting not now one of y'all.
You come for mine, you best believe I'm coming for yours.
I'm gonna leave you where I find you. I'm gonna leave you right there.
And that's what these kids are doing. Like, well, let me say this. That's where the school districts are pushing us, because there's not even no support in the school districts. You know,
Exactly.
there's no fear. Like,
Yeah.
suspend these kids, send them home with their parents, let their parents have to deal with them.
Right. How do I want to say that? It's they have it made up in their mind that won't nobody do nothing.
That's it.
And as long as they have that mindset, it's like I had to have the conversations with my daughter. Like, it's always fun and games till that first bullet whiz past your face and hit the person standing next to you.
Exactly.
It's fun and games until then.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So you can lose they ain't gonna do nothing, because the moment somebody up that fire and you see it come out, but it miss you and hit the person next to you, all that gonna change then.
And bullying is the whole reason why I believe Columbine happened, right?
It is.
Because that boy, the shooter was getting
bullied.
harassed at school.
Right.
So
Right.
people need to look at this.
Yeah.
There are
definitely.
reasons behind these situations, and you're pushing these kids to a place of desperation where they're
Right.
not feeling supported, they're not feeling safe. They're going to school to try and get a doggone education. You've tied the parents' hands because you're not helping us. We're coming to the school for help, and you're not helping us. You don't help us until you're a news story on channel 4, 5, and 6, between 6 and 11.
Right. And now you want to give everybody therapy.
Right.
When it could have been addressed. And see, like, even with the school shootings, like the high school I went to, it was always a school shooting. So and I've been out of school, I graduated in 92. This should have already been solved. They don't want to solve it. They don't want to solve it.
But why? Why is this so hard? Okay, we got all the bullying campaigns. If you see something, say something, call this number, report it. I'm reporting it. I'm coming to you and telling you that this child is a problem.
Right.
Why isn't anything being done? Why don't you suspend them? Why not send them to the alternative school? What is the deal?
But I don't know, because that's what they used to do. If you were a problem child, or even if you had a baby and was still, you didn't get to go to school with the regular kids no more.
No.
After you got so many suspensions, or if you had a fight that was so bad, oh, you can't even go here no more. You got to go to the alternative school. You got to go to night school. And it was even like that for females that had babies. If you got pregnant, you had to go to night school or go to the alternative school.
Exactly. So I don't know if the big districts have night schools anymore. Like my district has an alternative school, and they also have like a school where if you get behind in credits, you would go to the school so you can catch up your credits or even graduate a little earlier. So I'm like, how come we can't go back to having some night school classes for these kids who are considered bullies?
Well, I'd like to look at the bright side and say this is the importance of actually being a family when you have kids and having a game plan, because you can game plan around it. Homeschool is an option.
Yeah, homeschool is an option.
That is an option. And it's going to have to, in this day and time, it's gonna have to be an option that parents are really gonna have to look at and think about. Because at any school, your child is nothing but a number, just like a workplace, and
Yeah.
then the government gives them money because your child attends there. That's the moral to the story.
Okay, and I agree with that. I do. But here's the thing. There is a social component to homeschooling that is there. You have to put some work in, but it's different from a school environment. You know what I'm saying? Like you have cheerleading, you have football, you have people that you grew up with, you have other things that happen in schools, and that's the social part of it. So while I agree with sometimes you have to homeschool them, there's the social piece that a lot of kids need and miss and require, and that's why they go to school, you
I
know?
mean, not the vast majority though. I understand fully what you're saying. The vast majority go to school because their parents don't know what to do with
Hence bullies.
them. Exactly. Not only that, think about COVID. How many parents were mad that their kids were out of school? Y'all need to let them back in school. I can't do this. You should have thought about that before you had the motherfucker.
And so many of them.
Exactly. You should have thought about that then. Because the pipeline from school to prison, that's a real thing.
It sure is. It
It's a
sure is.
real thing. And
Mhm.
when and regardless of if you male or female, if I heard that come out your mouth, I automatically deemed you as a deadbeat. That's just what it is. You don't know
Mhm.
how to deal with your kid, you a deadbeat. Period. Ain't
And
no way
that's
around it.
and that's the sad thing. Like if somebody came to me and said, my child was sitting up here beating up on somebody or having fights and bullying, that would probably have been the last day you saw my child.
Exactly. I'm
Like,
not finna play that.
no.
I'm not finna, but it all starts at home. It starts at home.
And I'm raising boys. My boys are taller than me, but they know I do not play them games. You leave this house, you represent this family. You gonna
That's
act
it.
like you got some sense.
That's it.
And if you
That's it.
don't, I'm gonna show you how loose my sense is.
Man, so
You
don't
got
make
to
me
come
dive
home.
in. I like swimming with the sharks, and I've been out the pool for a minute.
Okay.
You know what
Like
I mean? Because you're here. Now, don't make me dive in the deep end and take you with me, because I'll show you how deep it go. And I promise you, I'll get down in there, and they'll like me. But what about you?
we going whale fishing. Do you hear me?
Exactly.
He is going down because what you not finna do. Because I wish some of these bullies would get the same treatment. And maybe honestly, that may be a vicious cycle. You know what I'm saying? They may have got a bully and then just took it on and started bullying somebody else. You know what I'm saying? We don't know the stories, but it's not okay.
Right. But through it all, it's like everything else. You got to hit a bully in the mouth.
You so do.
You got to, sometimes you can't be afraid to get beat up. When you being bullied, he gonna beat you up anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So you might as well give him one before he take you down. But if you give him the right one, he'll leave you alone. He or she will
Hopefully.
leave you alone.
But at some point, that just sparks more fights.
I mean, it do, but you now this is coming from a male.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you got to be willing to fight a bully every day, even be the first one to walk up and throw that punch to get him to make him stop.
You're right.
You understand what I'm saying?
I
I don't care if
understand.
you beat me today. Let's see if you're gonna beat me 14 days in a row.
Yeah, that's true. And that is awful that this is where we
That it
are.
gotta go
But
that way, but
it's getting out of hand. It's getting
yeah,
out of hand. Now here's
yeah.
another one. Now here's something that's even worse. So I have another friend who had a situation where a friend of hers, the little girl was being bullied by a boy. And the boy slapped her, punched her, and the district didn't do anything again.
Mm.
Now, does it make it worse in this situation that it was a boy hitting on a girl versus a girl hitting on another girl?
To me, I think it's worse because I can work with, and I don't want to sound like I'm for abuse because
Mm-hmm.
I see a light when it's little boy and little girl.
Right.
Kids don't know how to show their affection that they like something,
Mm-hmm.
especially a boy. So I hit it. You understand what I'm saying? I really like it, so I hit it.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
I got you.
So it's with that dynamic, it's a different playing field. I actually had this conversation with my sister about her daughter because her daughter had it bad wanting to fight all her boyfriends. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, sis, you got to remember, as a kid, she don't know how to define the way she loved him other than abuse.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
this is also why spanking ain't always a good thing.
Yeah.
Hitting your child and then saying, I'm doing this because I love you. Eh?
It's all
I'm
in
not
the
doing this
way
because
that
I
you
love
do it.
you. I'm
Right.
doing this because you fucked up.
Right. Right.
I'm feeding you because I love you. I got clothes on your back because I love you. I got a roof over your head because I love you. Now, this ass whooping you get is I'm giving you this because you fucked up over there. And
Mm-hmm.
then guess what? When you grow up and you do an adult like that, what you think that adult gonna do? Gonna beat your ass. And that's not gonna mean they love you.
True. I
So
think I
it's the verbiage. A lot for me. It's a lot of the verbiage that we use when it comes to raising kids. That you're dealing with a child's mind, so a child don't think like we do.
No, they don't. Well, I mean, it comes along with parenting and parenting styles. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
you said, and I think that just because you have a kid don't make you a parent, and
Exactly.
if you don't understand how to parent, or if you've been abused, then I wish people would take the time to go and take parenting classes, honestly. You know,
Man,
but some people
man,
are just so broken and abused that they just continue the cycle.
man. I was dating this. I don't want to sound like I'm coming down on single mothers, but I was dating a woman that had children, right?
Mm-hmm.
She always would put them in adult situations, would talk to them about their daddy paying child support,
Mm-hmm.
looking to them for advice. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, that's a child. They don't even understand what you talking about. You putting them in the adults. These my kids. How you gonna tell me what they understand? All right, I gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I know how this gonna turn out already.
Well, I'm gonna come at it from this angle. I, as a parent, never talk down to my kids, about my kids' father. I never
Right.
did that. Not to my kids. Now, if I had a problem, not really, not to anyone. If anybody asked, I would say he is a good friend of mine, which he is when he's present. But recently I told my kids that I was no longer going to be the bridge, meaning that I was not going to reach out to him and make sure he knows important events in his kid's life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I made it to where his kid was 18 years old and graduated from high school. And I sent him a text and I said, I'm done. I got you this far. I shielded you and your kids because of the way you're acting. I told you about holidays. I told you about birthdays. I did the happy Father's Days. I did all of that because of your
Right.
children. I'm not doing it any longer because they're grown enough and old enough to see you and want to form however that relationship. And you as a father, he told me one time a parent should never chase their kids. I'm like, that's a lie. And it's not chasing a child. It is maintaining a parental child relationship. You know, you
I
can't.
mean, he sounds like he's like he's self-entitled.
Yes,
Because at the end of the day, a child didn't ask to be here.
exactly.
And one
Exactly.
day your ass gonna get old and you gonna depend on them to come bring something to you or take you to a doctor's appointment or
Exactly.
be at your deathbed when you dying, fool. Chase who? You better chase it.
Exactly. And he's
You better
already
chase it.
And he's already, let me tell you, that man is already at that point right now. Okay. He is going to be alone. He has no relationship. He has 6 children out here and he has 0 relationship. I've maintained a relationship with two of my blood kids and one of his outside kids after we got, so but I mean, it is just
That
ridiculous. It
shit
is,
pissed me off, man.
I know, because
News flash, ladies. Men that move like that, we don't on this side of the fence, we don't ding them as men.
no. And the
I'm just letting
sad
it be
part,
known. We don't ding them as men. We ding them as being males with male
yeah.
working organs.
And the sad part is when he's present, he is a good dad. His kids, if he allowed them, he'd have a great
Mhm.
relationship with his kids. You know what I'm saying? But when you allow time and history to get in the way, you lose that bridge. It crumbles, you know what I'm saying? And the oldest one, and most of his kids are here. 5 of his kids are here to where he could just pick up the phone and say, hey, let's meet up. I want to talk to you. I want to fix this. How can we
Man,
repair this? It's just so sad. It's just
do
so
you understand how many times like I've messed up as a father and my daughter, I physically apologized to her?
right. Yeah.
Reason being, and it's like I told her, like, this first time I ever been a daddy, so I'm gonna mess up. But
Right.
hold my hand. This your first time being a daughter, so hold my hand. Let's get through this life.
Exactly.
Let's get through it the best way we know how. Both of us gonna mess up, but the
I,
mistakes is only proof that we are trying.
Exactly. Like I
Yeah,
told you, know me. I will. I told my kids. One time I called my son stupid, and I felt awful about it, and I apologize. It's many a thing that I've had to say I'm sorry for, but that was because I, as an adult, understood that you don't get to not acknowledge the hurt that you did on a kid.
nah, you
You
don't.
have to
You don't.
apologize. You should
Yeah,
apologize. You know how far you as a grown-up understand that when somebody apologizes to you, it helps you to feel better. It
yeah,
helps to fix the situation if
yeah. Because
there's an
when you don't,
apology in order.
right? If you don't, then that's say you meant to do all that.
Right. So
And you got to deal with the consequences, even if that means I don't ever talk to you again.
exactly.
You
So
got to
if
deal
we
with that.
if we as grown people feel that way, imagine how a child feels.
Yeah,
And all
it's
you
what,
got to do with a kid, if they're young enough, is say, baby, I'm sorry, and give them a hug. Do you know that right there, you are like God to them?
man. You're the closest thing to God that they know,
Exactly.
but you expect them to know God as you know God.
Hmm.
Wrong,
Hmm.
wrong, 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 wrong,
Exactly.
wrong, wrong.
Exactly. And so
Yeah,
by not fixing things or taking care of a kid's mental, you raising these little miscreants that's coming into these streets or going into these schools and acting a plum fool.
man, because they think that it's okay to tear a person down and not build it back up, they'll go through life with that.
Right.
And if they don't go through life that way, they'll bag into a shell, into a corner, and won't do nothing with their life because of the fear you put in them. It's a
Exactly.
pet peeve of mine when I heard, oh, it don't matter if you're a male or a female, my children gonna be scared of me. They not supposed to be.
They not.
They not supposed to fear you.
They,
It's
they,
only two options when it's fear. Either I'm gonna address it and beat you up, or I'm gonna run away from you.
exactly.
Them your only two options. If you think you finna make them still be the nice goody two shoes, they only the nice goody two shoes because they don't know how to get away from you.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
if it ever clicked in their brain what to do, oh man, they'll never talk to you again.
And that's the sad part about it.
Yeah,
That's
they'll keep it respectful and probably call on your birthday, this, that, and the third, but let you get sick for real.
exactly, because who gonna take care of you?
Man, I'm
Who
not
is
finna
going
wipe
to
your
take
ass.
care of you?
I was stupid, remember?
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna keep being stupid.
Because that's the thing. A lot of these people think that a child is obligated to take care of you when you grow up. Nope.
Nope,
No.
nope. That's your responsibility as an adult to make sure you got a retirement plan in order.
Mm-hmm.
Your child owes you nothing. They don't even have to buy you nothing for Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, your birthday. You owe all that to them because you brought them here.
Because that's a respect that you have earned when you receive a gift. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a level of respect. So when you get older, me taking care of you, that is strictly a love situation because it is hard to take care of people, especially when they
Yeah.
get older. And if they have like dementia or Alzheimer's or something like that, it's even harder because I watched my mom go through it. And
Yeah.
when I tell you, having 4 kids and a father with dementia and Alzheimer's, and he was
Wow.
getting out the house late at night, and it was a lot. It was a lot. And my
Yeah.
mom tried it, bless her heart, but she ended up having to yield and put him in a nursing home. But she went up there on the regular to carry him, make sure he had clothes, and knew that he was loved until the day that he passed. And it was
Right.
hard because my mom moved from California to where he was to be with him and
Okay.
make sure, even though all her brothers and sisters were there, she still wanted to be there for him. And I understand that.
Right. 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 Right.
But
Right.
now
Right.
let's twist it a little bit because my mother is a very hard woman sometimes, I love her to
Mm-hmm.
death, bless her heart. But she can be very hard to deal with because,
Mm-hmm.
she's the youngest of 10 kids. And I'm pretty sure she felt like she had to scrap a lot. So it can be tough dealing with her. So I honestly worry about her because her and my sister, they don't see eye to eye. And I know my sister has issues with my mother, and she probably wouldn't want to take care of her in that way. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be up to me and my brother to handle her, you know? So,
I perfectly understand that. Um, I'm in that situation with my mom
mm,
because my mom gave me to her sister and brother. But
mm,
now that my mom is up in the age, now she want me to step up and play a bigger part. But it's like, dude, you never put nothing in the basket.
exactly. How
You
you
can't pull
expect
out
me
the
to step
basket
up
if you
for
didn't put
you?
nothing in it.
How you expect me to step up for you when you didn't step up for me?
That part. You get what you give a person. And I'm sorry, I'll do it. But then if I got this voice going off in my head cussing me out about doing it, then that means I shouldn't be doing it.
Exactly. You can't be fake about it. And
I can't exactly.
And people in that situation, I have to say, they have a strong nerve. How you gonna expect a child to step up and take care of you because you older when you weren't there for them when they were younger? The most important part of a person's lifetime is that 0 to whenever. You know what I'm saying? That baby. That
Man,
baby.
man, when I can't tie my shoe myself, when I like in my situation, like I don't get sick often, but
Mm-hmm.
I contributed to because of me not having that mother love to fall back on. I
Right.
came up with that in my mind at about 4 years old. I ain't got time to get sick.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? So I put a mental block up on illnesses at about 4 years old because guess whose shoulder I don't get to lean on.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying?
I got you.
For real though, for real
Yeah.
though, and that really never came to light that I had a mental block like that up until I start realizing that as an adult, every time I went to my mother's house, I got sick.
Mm.
And I'm like, why do I get sick every time I come over her? And then
Mm.
slowly but surely, you know how God works, he start revealing everything to you.
Right.
Like you did this. You say you ain't got time. But you get over her, now you guard down. Now I can put it on you.
Exactly.
You want to be baby. And it's like, oh, okay, I get it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you never know what a person's psyche is calling for until they put in a particular situation.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Exactly. Wow.
I'm a work in progress.
We all are.
And Lord knows that even even with those feelings, I'll still give my mother the shirt off my back. Even though
Right.
now I gotta keep her in line about wanting things that's not serving her no purpose. And I'm not finna waste money because you want something that you know you can't do nothing with.
Mm. Yeah.
Like she want me to buy her an SUV. Mama, you 80. You better sit down. I ain't finna buy you no SUV for somebody else to come get the key from you and tear it up. Why
Right.
would I do that? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Want me to go buy her a house. And I'm like, you don't need no house. Go get an apartment. You don't have a man around that's gonna help you keep it up. You don't have that. And I don't have time to be coming over here talking about fixing the ceiling, doing this, doing that. No, you can get this nice apartment right here
Now let
where
me
if
ask
something
you this.
breaks.
Let me ask you
Uh-huh.
this. So like you said, like she asked you to buy her a house. Now, if she had a man and she was maybe 65, let's say, would you buy her the house?
You wouldn't have to ask me to buy you a house because you'll have a dominant male that'll already do it.
Okay, but if she asked you, even with the dominant male, would you buy? And the reason why I'm asking, here's the reason why I'm asking, because a lot of people wouldn't feel the need to buy the parent they may have conflicted feelings for anything expensive like a house or a car or things like that. It's like you get bare minimum and that's it, because again, what did you do for me as a child? You did not raise me as a child, so how can you come to me later on in life and expect me to purchase these big ticket items for you?
Exactly. I mean, that's where I am. I'm not gonna lie. I'm on this street right there. You
Okay.
know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
also, if it came down to it, and I know you needed it, I would not leave you in the cold. But
Right.
I know you thinking like a child, and you want it because you see I had a means to provide it.
That part right there.
You
That
don't really
part.
want it. You really just don't want me to have it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a difference. Because
Mm-hmm.
understand this, most mothers and a large percentage of mothers is where us men get manipulated first.
Amen. Amen.
So when we see through the bullshit game that a woman is running, where do you think it came from? My mama already done ran it on me.
Mm-hmm. Because you see it all too often where the mother and the wife is having conflicts because the mother's trying to, make sure the son stay up under her. You know what I'm saying? Them is the mothers you got to be aware of. Ooh.
You have to, and I have one of those.
Mm,
Love her to death, love her to death, but I know what I got.
mm-hmm,
You know what I mean? So
mm,
even with that, it's like I told her, I got a what 1, 2, 3, 4, a 4 bedroom that I'm never at. You better move into my house.
mm. True,
And that I'm never there. I'm at work.
right? What does she say to that?
I mean, uh, see, she's thinking about it's a lot going on because she's also thinking about my older sister. But it's like, dude, nobody told nobody to make fucked up decisions when they were young and
Mm-hmm.
now expect me to kick in the door to take care of that.
Right.
Sorry, my daughter coming first on that totem pole.
Yeah.
And now I got grandkids until they put up the way I want them put up. Ain't nobody finna eat.
Yep.
Not
It's all
even
about
me.
them.
Not even me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got to make sure they straight before I get on down up out of here.
Yeah.
And when I say straight, I mean by the time my grandbaby's 20, I need them to be millionaires. I gotta make moves to where they ain't gotta come out here and be on no goofy time.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's real. And
Yeah.
that's absolutely real. And that come with the right investments and not going out here buying a SUV for a woman that don't drive no more, mother or not.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Or
I'm gonna
buying a house that you can't even do the upkeep to it.
and then you gotta pay, and then she'll be looking to you to pay the money for the lawn service, the plumbing issues, the that. So you're
Not my
taking care of
problem.
two houses. Yeah.
Not my problem. Especially when I look at situations like my father and her, like my father remarried,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
He been retired about 10 years, him and his wife chilling. Like, nigga, if you would have just shut your motherfucking ass up,
Yeah.
you'll be sitting down with your feet kicked up right now.
Yep.
I mean, it just is what it is on that. Sometimes all us make mistakes in life. However, you can't continue to do the same thing and expect a different outcome.
That that
It,
that that part, because I promise you, I think that's why my mom really hates my dad.
yeah,
Because
likewise.
my dad went on, like you said, he got remarried, and my stepmother is living a life that my mother used to live or could have lived. You know what I'm saying? Because we had a house. We grew up in that house. We stayed in that house till I was 18 years old. And then
Mm-hmm.
that's when my mother moved to St. Louis. So,
Okay.
and my parents got divorced, and then so with his current wife, she saw how he changed and moved on and got better. My dad has lived in $1 million homes. His
Right.
houses ain't shabby now. And he's retired from a couple of careers. So I honestly think there's a little bit of resentment, and I can understand this as a divorcee myself, as a woman,
Mm-hmm.
because some of your female pride takes a hit when you get divorced. And I know that goes on both sides. I'm just saying this from a woman's side right now.
I
So,
can see that.
and especially when he moves on, he's moved on a couple times. But anyway, so to look at that, your pride gets hurt. Like, why wasn't I good enough for you to provide this, all this for me and your family, you know? Like, we're trying to go to overseas to see my brother next year. And she's like, oh, does he have to go? What? Ma'am,
Right.
it's been 30 years. Yes, he has to go, and she
Let
does
it go.
too.
Let
Yeah.
it go.
And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, all that
Yeah.
you're doing is blocking yourself from these memories. Like when my
But not
brother,
only that, did she put a block up? And this is just me asking a question. Did she
mm-hmm.
put a block up and not allow another man to love her
Oh, see,
because she was too busy being mad at him?
yeah, yeah. Because my
Because
mom,
we smell, as men, we smell that. And we'll say, you know what? I ain't finna let her take that anger. Not speaking about your mom, but
yeah,
I'm not finna let this particular female take that anger out on me. So I'm out.
right. So I mean, honestly, let's get into it because that is a great question. So yes, my mom that I can remember off the top of my head, my mom had two great men that she could have built a life with. She had my brother's father, and she had a man, a couple, was it after it? No. And she had another man. And when I tell you, we loved, oh, his name was, I'm gonna call him O. We loved O. O would come pick us up from school. O would um help us with homework. O would do whatever my mom asked. And he dealt with her attitude. Okay. O was one of those people that was just real chill and quiet. You know what I'm saying? Like he would allow her to vent, do whatever, blah, 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 blah. And he would just, he was like, cool. He knew how to handle her. Right.
Right.
So it was something major for them to break up because he was around for years. He was around for a long time. And then
Wow.
just one day he wasn't there. And I was like, where's O? And she won't tell us what happened. And then I don't know if she got with my brother's dad after him, but
Mm-hmm.
it was just sad. It was sad. And I think that some of her, she never dealt with the loss of my dad, oh, and, my brother's father, and
Right.
she has a lot of resentment in there, so it's just the craziest thing. But
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
all of this kind of stems from uh feelings from my dad, unfortunately.
Yeah. That can do it. I mean, but
Hmm.
that can do it.
It can.
Sometimes, not even on relationships. Sometimes you don't bounce back from a bad call.
No.
And that's just what life do. Sometimes you can make a bad call and never get over that shit. You'll
Right.
be able to put a band-aid over that wound, but when you look in the mirror, you'll always see that wound.
And that's true. But that comes with healing. You have to allow yourself to heal. You can't be mad your whole life because that anger spews over into other relationships. With us, it tore up the relationship that she had with my youngest brother and sister because they're 10 and 13 years apart from us. It's like
Okay.
two totally different people. We saw one side of my mom. My younger sibling saw a whole nother side of her, and it wasn't pretty. It was not pretty.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
we got her when she still had control and laughter and light in her life, but unfortunately they got the dark side of her.
Okay. I
And
can dig it.
Yeah, and so
When you keep
so
losing love, you can draw that though.
yeah.
When you keep
But
losing,
did you
because
lose it?
I particularly, yeah. I mean, well, I'll say this. I know a young lady. Well, I dated her priorly,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Was gorgeous, but I left. Few more people left. The next one left. The one after that left. The one after that left. You see her now, and she looks like she's damn near 60. Like she done
Mm-hmm.
gave up on life, and she younger than me.
Mm. But
You
the
know what I mean? A
question
person is
is,
only sit around and try to show you the way so many times before. Well, I can't stay here because it's gonna drown me. A drowning person will drown you.
yeah, because it's
You
you
throw
did,
you throw a
did
drowning person, what? You throw them a life preserver, right? You don't jump in the
mm-hmm.
water to try to save them.
Right. So it's did you lose love or did you push love away? Because you can lose it, you know, couple two times.
You
But
you
after that
right.
hurt, you push it away because
You
you
put and
don't you rather hurt them before they hurt you.
that part, that part, that part. Because I know you finna do this, so I'm gonna go ahead and look what Tupac say. I went in her purse and took $100 before she got me. I got her. I went in her purse and took $100. I'm scandalous.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
No, that's no way to live. But
Nope.
it, hey, it's what it is. It's
It,
what
it
it is.
it is. Hurt people hurt
Hurt
people.
people, yeah. Instead of for me, I don't operate in that fashion. I have what I see is how I get through it. Because I've had my share of bad relationships. We all have. You know what I mean? To be perfectly honest.
Mm-hmm.
But if you sit back and just take the fastest way that I get through it is I take the good that that person showed me and move forward.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I take what made me smile about them
Yeah.
and move forward. I
Yeah.
don't sit there and think about the negative. I'll be like, oh, she was on point on that. You know
And
what I mean?
I agree.
You know what I mean? Straighten your crown up, girl. You straight and move forward.
But see that
You,
that has to come after the healing. You know what I'm saying? First, you have to allow yourself. I'm gonna say for me, first, I have to allow myself to feel that pain. Because if you don't allow yourself to feel that pain, to grieve the ending of the relationship, then it could come out in a negative way. Or
you're
it,
absolutely
you
right.
know, so you have to allow yourself to go through a grieving process. Don't jump into another relationship right away.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
allow yourself some alone time. Learn to love you after this relationship because you changed. You
yeah.
changed because it was another person and you learned to like new things and blah 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 blah. So you changed during that relationship. You became a different you. So take that time, heal, get to know this new you. Sit in it,
Man, wallow in
cry,
it.
listen
Yeah,
to the sad songs. I'm not gonna cry. Be Mary J. Blige. You know what I'm saying?
man.
Get in there. And then once
Yeah,
you come out of it, like you said, you can look back on the relationship and be like, you know what? Oh, I remember that time we go over here. Or I remember
man.
the time we did this. And it may hurt, it may sting just a little, but guess what? At the end of it, you may smile,
Yeah. But
you
like
know?
I say, some people not built tough enough to do it. Prime
Right.
example. Prime example. I know a male. We took a trip somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, I'm 49. So what we was about 45 when this happened.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know he started talking about how jealous he was finna make people from high school? And I was like, fool, I'm not there no more. I don't think about none of that. You still thinking about that?
What was his motivation?
Because you know how kids John on other kids. When you ain't got it, they ain't got it. So they talk about you.
Okay.
He
Okay.
was still wallowing in that 40, 30 years later.
Got you. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now this is a male. And I'm
Right.
like, man, I don't even think about none of that because I promise you I could walk up to any one of them and get love from them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so
So
I
he
don't,
didn't take the
hey,
time
some,
after his high school years to like forgive. Even if you can't say it to them, he didn't forgive them so that he could move forward. He was still stuck in that
exactly,
time.
he forgave himself. Life is about self-improvement. You can't
Mm-hmm.
improve nobody else. You got to improve yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? You
What?
want people to everybody to like you. You playing you shouldn't even be a human. You playing the wrong game. Because
Everybody is
guess what?
not
If
going to
everybody
like
like you, then then you definitely ain't doing something right if everybody like
you. Right. Right.
you. You know
Because
what I mean? You definitely
everybody is
not doing
not your
something right if
friend.
everybody like you.
Right.
Man, that part.
Mm-hmm.
That part. So
And
so
even if you think they're
I
your
don't look I
friend,
don't
they may be stabbing you in the back. So let's keep that 100.
man, but right, but it's like the old saying go, you keep your friend close, but you keep your enemy closer. I can know you stabbing me in my back, but if I keep you close enough to know what you're doing and what you own, so I know you ain't moving against me.
Right.
Because I already know what you finna do.
Exactly.
It's just
Exactly.
what it is, you know?
I agree.
No,
I
no,
definitely agree. I
no.
definitely
But
agree.
you know, you get to a like I'm to the point now in life that that's how I moved as an adult, as a young man. But now, man, look, I don't even deal with it. I'm going home getting my hand. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, I just certain things. It, as you age, you know, you see things before they happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? You able to read a person as soon as they walk in the room and know what time they on,
True.
and you could just about know what and when, what they finna say, what they finna ask for, when they finna ask for it.
Very true.
You know what I mean? So
Very true.
it's just learning. And then, like I say, when we were talking about the failed relationships, I
Mm-hmm.
always see what else worked for me is for me. I start looking at life just like college. If I'm taking this course right here to ultimately obtain me a wife, guess what
Mm-hmm.
I got to do? Have some prerequisites to get to it.
Mm.
And the
That part.
prerequisite is something I don't even need for the degree. Like, why I got to go take a baking class when I want to be an accountant?
Right. But I mean, it may just be a stress reliever as an accountant. You may just be
Oh,
that happy.
okay. And you look at it for me, it became, I start playing the game with it. I start looking at qualities. Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
like that quality. I'm going to put that on the big board. That I want mine to have this quality.
Yep.
Oh, I like this attitude. And
Yep.
then I start just maneuvering the pieces until I can get the whole board to light up. But guess what? I'm 49 and I still ain't got the whole board lit up.
Now, question is, if somebody come along and they have 3 out of 5 of your most important qualities, is that enough of a reason to say, you know what, this is my run?
Yeah, that's more than enough. I'll take 2.5. 2.5 or half of it. You got half of what I need, we can make the rest of it happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We can
I
make the
agree.
rest of it happen. But it still depends on which ones.
Mm-hmm.
Because your not your, but there can be some qualities that are automatic disqualifications.
Ooh, well, let's be nosy, shall we? What are the
Attitude,
automatic disqualifications?
attitude, calling me outside of my name.
Mm,
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And in an argument, that B word. See, I'm cut from the cloth. When you call me a B, you got to prove that I'm that. So
Mm,
I know what water that's gonna take me to, what avenue that's. So you only got 1 or 2 times to let that roll off your tongue before it becomes domestic violence.
okay.
Calling me, you understand? Like I can take the jokes if we sitting here joking, but you still ain't finna call me no B.
Right.
I took
Now,
that from nobody.
now here's another thing you may have to add to the board.
Uh huh.
Somebody who may want to be a step grandmother.
Yeah. See, all that's on my board.
Because a lot of women aren't wanting to take care of children at an older age, even if it's grandchildren, because that's still taking time away from the life that they want to build. So,
Yeah. Yeah. But see, understand this. I raised my child, so I don't have to take care of my grandkids.
right. And I'm not
That's
saying that,
that's
but
understand what I'm saying. That's for entertainment purposes.
right,
You know what I mean?
but you're an active grandfather, right?
I'm very active, and so
And
that would be unequally yoked for me to even sit at the table with a person that doesn't view family the way I view it.
right.
You know what I mean? If the value of family ain't on your list, then
Can't
I
do
can't
it.
do nothing about
No,
that.
right, right. I mean,
You
but
understand what I'm saying?
yeah, but a lot of
But
these
also,
women need to be honest with themselves because, they may feel like, uh, I'm gonna do this because, but people know when you faking the funk. You know what I'm saying? If being in a position with a man with children and grandchildren and they're active, if that is not an option for you, don't do it.
thank you.
Because at the end of the day, my friend of mine, this man, he um he has kids, uh, uh 11 and 12, and he's very active in their life because they lost their mom. So
Uh-huh.
he travels with them, he does baseball with them, he does all these things with them, as he should, because he is their father. Well,
Right.
she is an empty nester. She's not older, but she's younger. She's like 48, let's say. And her son is older, like 21, 22. So she's done. So if
Right.
she chose to get into a relationship with this guy, she would have to understand that, you're not starting over, but you're stepping into a role where he has younger kids and he's active, and you shouldn't count that as a negative if you get into a relationship with him. But understand that he is an active parent.
Right. Right. Right.
So,
And that that from my perspective, that's the dilemma. Because people will play like they want to be a part of this until you
mm,
put them in it. Then it
mhm.
becomes, well, you showing too much attention there and not enough to me.
It
You
gets
doing too
too
much of this
real.
and not enough of that. You
Exactly.
understand what I'm saying? Then, cause
Hmm.
see, when not you, but when anybody come to me with that, my next question is, well, why are you here?
Exactly.
Because you see what my alliance is. And
Hmm.
if your alliance ain't with me and mine, because my alliance is with you and yours, then what are we talking about?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's like I often say this. I could be I could be dating someone and say we on our way to Paris. And my grandbabies call me, Granddaddy, where you at? I'm finna get on this plane and go to Paris. Ooh, come get us. All right. I need somebody that's riding with me like that, man. We gotta go get them. They wanna go.
Or basically, that she should have said, we taking the grands.
That part. Because I might be like, nah, and her take my phone. If they call, answer, so I'm in the bathroom or something. You
Mm,
understand what it's called, being
mhm.
on the same page, the same wavelength.
Exactly.
You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Hmm.
'Cause more often than not, that's what I'm finna be on, like I said, until I get them where I feel they comfortable at.
Hmm.
You
And
know what I mean?
but see, here's the thing. If you're dating, actively dating to find somebody to share your life, it's cool that you take care of them so strongly, but you have to have a good balance. You had at some point you had to say, you know what, no, I made plans over here. You can't always expect her to want to include them. Sometimes you have to have adult time.
Definitely. I'm with that.
Mhm.
I'm with that. Definitely. Definitely.
Because you don't
Definitely.
never want somebody to feel like they have to make you make a choice. Because if they a real woman, they're not gonna ask you that. They just gonna say, you know what, it's been cool getting to know you, but I see that you have your obligations over here. I see I'm not a priority, so I'm going to excuse myself from this picture.
Yeah.
No harm, no
Yeah.
foul.
No harm, no foul.
you know
Right.
but if
Right.
this is somebody you truly think that you could build a life or a future with, then you at that moment should say, you know what, hold up, I don't want to lose you. How can
Right.
we adjust this?
See,
And then make
right.
that adjustment.
Right. So see, when I talk about getting this is for me. Now, I'm not speaking about no other man or woman out here.
Right.
When I talk about getting mine where I feel comfortable with them at, is where they mama say she want to raise them at.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever money she's short, make sure she got it. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? Make sure they're put up and moving in the direction that she want to move her children in.
Right. Right.
Understand what I'm saying? I've already told her I don't want to make no rules. The
Mm-hmm.
rules for you to make. I don't want to enforce no rules. That's why
Right.
they got a good daddy. That's for him to do.
Yep.
Understand what I'm saying? I'm on I'm on basically like a nice annuity. You know what I mean? Get them some property. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And see, I learned a lot from my grandparents. Like I always went to them during the summer months.
Right. And see
You
that, but
understand?
that's the way it's supposed to be. That's
Exactly.
exactly the way it's supposed to be. But nowadays, you have grandparents who are raising their grandbabies.
And that's because they did not raise their kids.
Well, let me stop you there, because it's not the fact that they didn't raise their kids. Because I have a friend I have so many friends in these situations. But anyway, because I have a friend who did raise her kids properly, right? She's a single mom, did what she was doing, active parent, blah, blah, blah. But this child feels entitled to where I think honestly what it is that my friend's daughter doesn't raise her kids because she knows her mother will, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I think that a lot
No.
of these kids out here aren't raising their children, and they wilding in these streets because they know the grandparents will step up and be like, let me have my grandbaby. You know what I'm saying? Even if that they honestly would prefer for their kids to watch them, the grandparents are going to love their grandkids enough to be like, give me my grandbaby, which is what she's doing. And I've talked about it before. It's a situation where if she didn't step up and be there, those kids may be in danger.
Right. You told me. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. See,
Right. So,
I'm a bit of a iron fist on that
mm-hmm,
because this don't mean I don't love my grandkids,
mm-mm.
but I'm gonna let you fuck yourself off so you can never get them back.
And see, that's the thing. She works in the system, so she don't want them to go to the system.
But
I
no,
mean,
what I'm saying is, I'm gonna let my child fuck herself off to where when I get them, it ain't even gonna be a court that'll let you get them back.
yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
therefore, I'm not even gonna get in the way when you on that dummy time.
Yeah, and honestly, that's that. Like she could have had her do that, sign off her parental rights, but she doesn't want to necessarily go that route. But that's the route where it could go. I mean, it's just. I mean, it's just.
But see, right there, right that one right there with the indecisive, and this is not me talking bad about her,
No, I
but
understand.
if you're saying that it's this and you know it's that, then why do you even want to be able to get them back? You understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Why would you even want them to be able to go back?
It's just
So
a
I
whole.
will let, like me, I'll let mine go ahead because I done issued her all of the warnings about what these people will do.
Yep.
Now let DCF hit my line up talking about you want them. Yep. And guess what? Nah, you ain't getting them back.
Nope.
Understand what I'm saying? You had your opportunity, you blew it. So I ain't finna play the revolving gate where, oh yeah, it's good now it's bad. Now, no, it's either good or bad. Ain't nothing in the middle.
Yep.
There's no middle. There's no middle. Now your friend may have an extenuating circumstance, but I see, well, this is what I see. I see a large portion of both men and women that instead of raising their children, they decided to run the streets and
Mm.
go be on dummy time. So now that they got grandkids, you know what they doing?
What?
They are like, okay, now you can go make the same mistakes I made, right? I'm gonna
Yep.
raise these grandkids so now I can get that motherfucking demon off my back because I did that shit.
A whole vicious cycle.
You understand what I'm saying? I got to
Yeah.
get it off for me. I got to do right now because
Hmm.
my time almost up.
And see the thing. Honestly, my friend's daughter is very fortunate because my friend could have lost her mind and been like, I'm still young and sexy. I'm not taking care of your kid." Those kids could have been seriously discarded and thrown away. If both of them was wilding out. Thank God they have one person that they can turn to. You know what I'm saying? So
Well,
it's just a sad situation. But
yeah.
um
I mean, it's I see it. You know what I mean? Because
mhm,
once again, my mother did that with my sister,
mm,
where she felt obligated to raise her kids. You understand what I'm saying? And it's
mhm,
like I used to tell her, them not yours, them hers.
yeah.
And she laid there and did that. You got to make her step up. And the only way you can make her step up is you don't do it. Now, if she mess all the way up, give me custody. You can't get them back. That's the way this works. Because one thing I didn't see is out of my grandparents had, and I only go off, I look at, I look at, I look at, like, I pay attention to like my bloodline on how it went. You know what I mean? My
Uh-huh.
grandparents had 12 kids.
Wow.
3 of them died in a fire,
Oh wow.
right? 9 of them lived. But
Mm-hmm.
them 9 all spread out. I didn't watch them have to take care of not now one of their grandkids because their kids wasn't on point.
Mm.
So if it get to you and you doing it, then goddamn it, you didn't pay attention to what was going on over there.
Oh.
You thought you could apply to it the way you wanted to apply to it when clearly your mom and daddy showed you how it went and how to make it work.
Yeah, because I mean she got good grandparents. The parents were great. I just don't know what it was about this.
Yeah.
She
So
just I don't know if it's selfish. I don't know if it's other things going on because she does have a couple of issues, but she has a good example of motherhood. She has a
uh,
good example, but
uh,
it does again. Everybody who have them can't parent them.
everybody ain't supposed to be no parent.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like even in my situation, Like with my daughter's mom, with my baby mama. This
Mhm.
joker still running around talking about she cute. Bitch, you damn near 50. We past cute. We passed that shit.
Hey now. Hey.
But no, don't get me wrong. When I say that, motherfuckers still think she 27,
Oh
30.
no.
You can't go
Mm-mm.
over there and play in them waters. They gonna
Mm-mm.
quickly show you not that.
Mm-mm. No,
You understand
you
what I'm
gotta
saying?
accept your
Like
age of maturity at this point.
that part.
Mhm.
Lessons that I even took. Like now that your kids are grown, what would you look like, Shay, trying to double back and live the life that you could have lived before your boys got her?
No. But you know
Don't
what?
work,
I'm gonna
do
say
it.
this. I'm gonna say this. I think sometimes, and this is not a reason or an excuse, you know what I'm saying? But I
Uh,
think sometimes life blocks us a little bit from living our youth, be it we had to take care of our siblings, or be it that we had to take care of a parent, or be it that we had to take care of a child that we may have had at a young age. You know what I'm saying? It matures us, so we miss out on certain things. Like you may have missed out on going to prom, you may have missed out going on those teenage dates and all that good stuff. So I
so
think
what
that's
you
why a
gonna
lot
miss
of
out
people
on your future to try to go back and do something over there?
I think a lot of people regress back because they missed out on so many things. But
Okay,
okay, wild out for a minute, but don't lose your mind. You know what I'm saying? And
I can dig it.
I think that's what a lot of people um don't understand, that like some people live their glory days through their kids, because they have regrets of not going to maybe the NFL, or they weren't prom queen, or you know what I'm saying? So I
Right.
think that in these instances there's some type of regret. So maybe there's a regret for your daughter's mom, that or
I know
something,
it is though. I know it is. But it's like I'm trying to get through to her and tell her, like, dude, you can't go back and fix that. You can't do that. That's not gonna work for you. That's gonna cause more, as they would say in the 20 in these years nowadays, that's gonna cause more trauma, more
Yeah.
self-inflicted wounds.
Yeah.
Quit hitting yourself. You ain't never played the game when you was a kid where they grabbed your hand and made stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting
Right.
yourself. You
Right.
only hitting yourself.
At this point, you have
You
to
understand?
accept your here and now. You know,
That part. That
if
part.
you can, you have to accept this is where you are now. You can't
Right.
go back 20 years and be like, okay, now I can live this and do this. You know what I'm saying? You have to
Man.
do that at this age. If you miss prom, I'm sorry.
Man. If you couldn't do this because you chose to have kids, oh well.
Right.
You
Right.
made that decision. You made it.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like in
Mhm.
especially, I don't know about the other two she got, but like in my situation, and once again, I thank her for it because I got a beautiful daughter and twin granddaughters out the deal. But she
Right.
quit taking her pills to get pregnant by me, particularly. So at that point, you
Wait a
can't go
minute.
back and
Wait,
live.
did you know that she did that? Like, did she plot that?
Nah, nah. I ain't know she did. I got, I got trapped in it. I'm one of
Mm.
them. I got trapped in it.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? But also, I love her for it because that's my only one I get.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? The rest of mine didn't make it. Miscarriages. So that God had to sneak me one in some kind of way because he knew what was after me.
Right.
You,
Wow.
you feel what I'm saying? So do I look at it and look down on it? Nah, I don't. I don't. But also, you can't go back and do that over there no more.
No, because you made the choice. You put yourself,
You made the choice.
you put yourself in this situation, sis.
In that situation. Right. You understand what I'm saying? Now, within that, then accept who you are and move forward.
Right.
You know what I mean? What I look like trying to go out here and compete with with like my granddaughter's dad. That
Right.
young man, 27 years old. What I look like going out here trying to compete with him?
Or not
Nah,
compete, just be like, hey, let's go hang at the bar, try to live like him. You know what I'm saying? Like revert
can't do
back
that.
to the glory days. I'm
Nah,
gonna go get this motorcycle, or I'm finna go bungee jumping. Can't do that.
man. Nah, I'm finna go to the. Hey, what I do with him is come on, let's go to the football game. Let's go watch the game. He a Raiders fan, I'm a Cowboy fan, and that's that on that. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what our conversation be as far as like go out and nah, man, I ain't finna do none of that. We can go to dinner. You can get on my time, put you some nice clothes on, and man, we gonna go sit down and have us a steak dinner.
Because at the end of the day, you are a grown adult
Man.
and you
And I
should do
don't,
grown adult things.
man, I don't have the energy to be running around doing what he do. I don't have
Right.
that no more. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying?
Because ultimately, your mission in life is to get home at the end of the day. So you
That's
don't
it.
need to be doing stupid stuff that could jeopardize you getting home.
Right, 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 right. You know, as a young man, you're more of a risk taker
Right.
versus an older man. Just like as a young woman is more of a risk taker than the older woman is.
Right.
You
Because
know
you
what
have
I mean? But when
priorities.
you right, like when you where we are in life, you young enough to still go do it, but you wise enough, you old enough to know better.
Mm-hmm. That part right there.
So
Right
just
there.
because you young enough to go do it, you supposed to be wise enough not to go do it because you're supposed to know better.
Right.
You know what I mean? The person
Mhm.
that don't know better, then you ain't nothing you can do with that. It ain't nothing you can do with that.
Nope.
You know
Not
what I
at all.
mean? So, and it's not just so because, like, also like you talking bad about my daughter's mom. No, I don't do that. I ain't on that time in life.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like my niece pulled me to the side because my niece, I got nieces. My nieces, they don't like her. You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
and now that they grown, they want to really get their hands on them. Hey, you know what I mean? They want it like that, and I'm like, nah, y'all can't do that.
Right.
And then they be, man, you ain't never talk bad about her. Why?
Ain't no need.
I ain't cut from that cloth.
Mm-mm.
You know what I
Ain't
mean?
no
I
need.
ain't cut
Because
from that
guess
cloth.
what? What would that have proven or done for you? Because at the end of the day, people can formulate their own thoughts, right? And
Right,
they can see how she operates. And you don't even have to say nothing because they're gonna see and they're gonna know the truth. Versus if you had talked against her and it turned out to be a lie, well, they're gonna be looking at you like, well, why you say
man, 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 man. And it's been
so?
times where, like when my baby was young, man, little females I was digging with, getting down with, boy, they wanted her blood. And I used to be like, nah, I can't let y'all do that.
Right.
I can't let you do it, man. She just need to be taxed because she shouldn't even be. I'm like, I know, but that's not your fight. God gonna handle it. Just leave it
Listen,
alone.
I
Leave it
was
alone.
that lady. I was that lady, and I was dating a man with kids who had a crazy baby mama. And listen, it wasn't my fight. I felt like it wasn't my fight. That was something between them because that is their history. And one
Right,
day, she acted a fool in front of my brother. My brother was like, "Why didn't you fight her?" I'm like, "It's not my job to fight her.
right.
This is between them. This is their history. Whatever
Yep.
it is, she knows.
Right,
She knows we're married now, and that
right,
may be why she's upset. I understand that,
right,
but
right,
again, it's the way he handled the situation.
right, right,
So,
right, right. And that's the same, and that's how it works. It
mm-hmm.
ain't gotta, it ain't gotta be a lot of times all of that negative energy
Exactly.
comes from it stems from what we already been talking about. I let that get away with my decision making.
Right.
I
And
let it get away, but it ain't even giving a fuck whether I'm walking or not. And I don't like that. So I gotta attack it. You know what I mean?
exactly.
And then
And,
when you're not willing to attack it because it's like, man, I don't even care, go live your life. Well, why don't you care? Because I don't. Because there's certain things, regardless of who you are, it's certain things that nobody can do to me. And you can come back around the corner and I'm like, yeah, I forgive you and give you another opportunity.
and
Like
also
my
like,
daughter asked me like why she just basically asked the question, do you think you and my mom could ever? I was like, nah, could we ever like get married or move forward? I was like, nah. She said, why? I was like, baby, I could never put her name on the life insurance policy as a beneficiary.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Can't
Yep.
do it.
Yep.
It's as simple as knowing that. Because look how you got here. So how can I trust that? I can't. And I'm not gonna give it
And,
the second. That don't mean I don't like her or anything. That's just that I trust a snake to bite me if I give it an opportunity.
mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? If I go in here and play with lions, I expect this lion to eat me because I ain't even supposed to be over there playing with that lion.
Exactly.
And that don't mean they're a bad person. They moving to what they call. And I'm gonna allow them to move to what they call. I'm just not gonna get in the way of that call.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Because at
More
the end
power
of the
to
day,
you.
yeah, because at the end of the day, we unresolved love has regrets, right? And because
Mm-hmm.
it's unresolved, the next person that steps in is either going to know peace or is there going to know fighting and attitude and things. And that's where a lot of issues between a man trying to see his kids, that's where it happens. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because of how it ended with the baby mom and she looking at you. It's the same thing even with my mom. You know what I'm saying? I got
Right.
your kids and here you are moving on. I'm basically kid free because they stay with the baby, with the mother,
Right.
and you come get them on the weekend. Y'all living the good life. You got the best of both worlds. And that could be a little resentful. I
Yeah.
can say even personally myself, there were times when I was like, I'm here on a Friday night with these kids and I can't even drop them off to you because you don't have somewhere stable to live.
Right.
You supposed to
Right.
be, you put yourself on an arrangement and you can't even come get them like you
Right.
supposed to.
Right.
Or, he told me at one time, he was like, well, I'm I'm gonna get with this girl because she has an apartment and she can babysit our son.
Wrong. See,
Why
that's a
would
move.
you think this is okay? My kids never went over there. Uh-uh.
Okay, so do you understand what? Remember when we first got on her, and I said, well, when my child got her, I got out the dating scene.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I knew I had a snake on this side of me that will bite this motherfucker over here. So why would I allow that to happen?
Because every man is not mature and able to be on their own. They feel
Okay.
like they got to have somebody with. And here's my thing. You can date, okay, or see somebody, but you explain to them, I don't know if I'm gonna get into a relationship because fatherhood comes first. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
That
right.
you know,
That's exactly how I explained it. And I also was like, I can't move to the marriage level because I pay child support. And I know what this wank's gonna do on this side of the fence when she get when I'm married. She gonna come for you. So I can't put you in the middle of that.
and see that is grown up conversation, but
You
you
know what I
don't
mean?
get with somebody because you're trying to have somewhere where they a babysitter. I was like, why would you say that? Why not just get your own spot and be a father to your kids? Like, how come
Man,
he has never held down his own place. He's always lived up couch surfing.
Right.
Always
dig it.
the solid, the longest he went with his own place was while we were married.
Wow.
And even then it wasn't solid because he couldn't control the finances. I tried to let a man be a man, but at the end of the day, if my child had to wonder where his next meal was coming from,
Nah, I ain't rocking like
that's a
that.
problem.
That's a problem.
I
Right.
could do bad by
I
myself.
won't eat because there's been plenty of days where I had to push the plate back because my child was with me for the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll be, Daddy, you ain't eating. Now I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna clean up, get it. But the whole time I'm knowing I don't get paid 3 days from now. She gonna have to eat this tomorrow. Then I'm gonna remake it a different way the day after that. And it's gonna have to eat off them 2 days.
Right.
I'll find me some oodles and noodles along the way.
Exactly.
You understand? But that's the sacrifice it comes with being a parent.
Exactly. Not
And that don't
everybody
mean bring,
understands that.
yeah, and that don't mean bring nobody else into it and bring them down.
And it don't mean you just move in with people so you quote have a roof, because even then you bring them over and you don't spend no time with them. What's the point?
What's the point?
I stopped sending them because I was like, you're not providing, you're not hanging with your kids. You're not playing video games does not count as spending time with your kids. Now, okay, sometimes it may, but
Right.
most times, why not get out the house, go for a walk, go play basketball, go teach them to be men, go out to the car and say, I'm going to show you how to change the oil on a car.
Right.
I'm going to show you how to change a tire.
Right. I can remember one time, my daughter had to be about 8 and she wanted to come over. And I was like, well, babe, I ain't got no money right now. You know what I mean? So we're not really gonna be able to do anything. You have to. She was like, "That's okay. I don't want to go nowhere. I just want to spend some time with you." Oh, come on.
And I wish a lot more men would understand this. Kids don't want things. That's it.
I didn't understand. She might have been younger than that when she told me that. Cause I had it, girl, gotta go to the store, buy her this, gotta go do
Yes.
this. And she was like, nah, I just want to come over there and lay up under you. Oh, okay, come on.
Yes. Kids
You
don't
gonna
want
come get
things.
me?
They
Yeah, I'm on
want
my way.
you. Now,
Right.
when they get older as teenagers, that's where the stuff happens to change. But from 0 to 12, they just want you. They
Right.
just want your time. That's when you get to pass down the nuggets of wisdom.
Right. Right. Right.
You know.
Right. 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 And then as they grow, you start seeing, like, as in the, like, me sitting here reflecting on the lessons I taught and watching her move through her adult life. It's like, wow, I didn't do a shabby job after all.
Right.
Hey, sometimes I thought I fell way short of the mark, but then watching it hit on point, and I'm like, oh man, it's on cruise control now. I can sit back.
Exactly. We all
You know,
can fall short. We're human.
yeah,
But
yeah,
at the end of
yeah.
the day, you watch your kid and you'll see the light bulb pop on and be like, I didn't do too bad.
Right.
I didn't do too bad. Cause I look at my kids, and especially my oldest, as he's dating, I really like his girlfriend. Cause
Okay.
we our families get along, I can go hang out at their house and chill, and they can hang out here. We play games, she comes over, has stayed the weekend with us, whatever. Really nice young lady. But I watch him with her. He opens the door for her. He makes sure she's okay. Both of them do for each other. Like,
Right.
I could honestly see them hopefully getting married. It is true high
Teamwork
school.
makes the dream work.
Yeah. And because they are great for each other,
Right.
but all that to say, I can see that he listened to what I told him. You know what I'm saying? He's learning to become a man and do his future wife right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right,
this is the time that you learn these things so that
right.
you know, when you have someone special in your life, you can show them how special they are. And you don't have to buy a whole bunch of things.
Oh, right. It's
It's
not
the
about what you
little
buy.
things. Cause
Man, you
I,
can go get $1.99 rose and that'll make a person day.
but
It's
not even
when
that.
did you give it and was it on time?
Exactly. And not even that. It's the car door opening for me. Okay. It's the
Like, look at
opening
this.
of the door as I walk into a building. You
Right,
know, it's
right,
things like that that
right.
make a woman feel special, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
My
definitely.
man holding the door for me.
Right, right. It's no different than like I let you in the passenger side of the car and you unlock my door.
Exactly.
That'd be my first test with a lot of women. Do you know how many women get outed right there, Shay? That
But
I've
yeah.
outed right there. Soon as I done picked them up, I let them in the car and they don't unlock my side. Oh,
Now let me ask you this though.
it's
Because
a wrap.
with the automatic unlock though, the door's already open.
Not all the time. The cars that I've had, if I don't use the chirp, I can put my key in it and unlock it.
Okay. Well, because I
This
know
was
like
we talking. You got to remember all this keyless entry and all of
it's
that
recent.
is recent. All that
Mhm.
just came out.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I mean? Now, obviously I'm not talking about present day. I'm talking about 5 years ago
Okay.
because I haven't really taken anybody serious in the last 5 years.
Okay. But
You
you
know
got
what
a
I mean?
point. You got a point with that because I'm guilty of it too. I'll get in the car and I didn't reach over until I was
It,
told. You know what I'm saying? I
it
didn't
ain't even
reach
see
over and
with automatic
unlock the
locks. You
door.
ain't
Yeah.
even got to reach over. You can just boop right
Yeah.
next to you.
You're
You
right.
know what I mean? But that goes with like me. Now, don't get me wrong. When I say get outed, that means now my antenna is up.
Hmm. But
Now,
now do
if
you
you don't do
think,
anything to push that antenna back down, because obviously you can make a mistake, lacks of judgment.
hmm
But now I'm paying attention to other things. You understand what I'm saying? Like, am I gonna proceed further with this? Okay, let's go on with the day. Let me see. You understand? Let me pay attention to how this person's gonna treat me. You know what I mean? Because I've had a woman that didn't do it, but we get to the restaurant and she here, taste this. And she's sitting there feeding me. Now, okay, now you earn that credit back. You understand what I'm saying?
hmm
It's little things like that, you know.
and I'm gonna say this, and I'm guilty of it too. Like I said, I don't think that we are we have to kind of be told, you have to remind us if that's a necessity for you, if that's a need, if that's a requirement uh as a love language, then you might need to tell them, hey baby, you know, the same way I open the door for you is the same way I would appreciate if you open the door for me. Once
Right.
I put
See,
you in the car, just unlock the door for me, baby. That's all I ask. And
right. I agree
we
with you,
don't
but
know,
that's not one of my requirements. You understand what I'm saying? It's an intention getter to see where her mind state at. You
right?
understand?
But you may be crossing her off the list and she's not aware that this is something you that she should be doing as
What?
a woman for her man. You know what I'm saying?
It's not my job to teach her that.
And I get that. But if for
No,
future reference, if this is somebody that you care about, would you at that time be like, you know what, blah blah blah?
no, I don't do it like that. I mean, that may be strike one. You understand what I'm
Okay.
saying? Now, keep
Okay.
in mind, the night is just starting. Then, see, what I don't do is I don't judge a fish ability to climb a tree. You
Okay.
understand what I'm saying? Just because you don't do this, you may check all these other boxes out over here.
Right.
So I can't hold that one against you. But now when that one becomes two, like we get to the restaurant and now you talking loud.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? You want to be
Right.
the center of attention. I don't have to tell you that ain't what I want. That's something your mom and daddy should have taught you.
It is. But again, you know.
Hey, but again, I'm not here to teach nobody. I'm not gonna teach you how to. Now, because I've been with several women, and I'll tell any woman, like my job as a man is to make sure that if we don't work, your next one after me does work. Or
Mm,
if I pass on, you not stuck right here where I'm at. You can go right back over there and get you another one. Because if I show you, nah, man, like this, like we like this right here, we like this right here. You understand what I'm saying? I'm equipping you to move forward. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not equipping you to. I'm not saying put your hands behind your back. You locked up. I don't want a dumb female around me.
right.
You understand what I'm saying? Now,
Right.
everybody has flaws. You know, we all have those, and we all stand to be corrected.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So, like I say, it's never a situation where I maneuver that way. Like that, I'll give you an example.
Okay.
I was once dating this chick. She wanted to proceed forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
Had with children, right?
Mm-hmm.
So first thing I told her was, "You don't make enough money. We can't do it like that." You know what I mean? Now, mind you, I'm not even intimate with her. We're just dating.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Now, 6 months later, she's showing me text stubs. She's up there now, 100K a year.
Okay.
In 6 months, she got to it. After that, she was like, "All right, come on, because my clock is ticking. I'm ready to do this." Oh, baby, peep game. Uh, you live in the projects. I ain't having no kids and dropping them off in no projects. I ain't finna do that. Now she got a crib in the suburbs to where she elevated. You understand what I'm saying? Now,
Mm-hmm.
after she elevated and she come back to the table and start bringing it back to the table, I was like, all right, now why do you want those kids by me? Because clearly you see now that you don't need me, right? She looked at it and thought about it. She gave me a big old hug. It was like, thank you. Because she saw what I was teaching. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it might not even be for us to go down this road. I just got to show you how to be doing what you need to be doing in life. And until you
Mm-hmm.
doing what you doing in life, having babies ain't even the shit supposed to be coming out of your mouth. But now
Mm-hmm.
she's married, has a set of twins. You know what I mean? Doing
Mm-hmm.
real good in life. But it took somebody to stop and say, nah, hold up. You're going the wrong direction. And any man that's just going to impregnate you and lead a seed in the projects, and I'm not living in the projects myself, that's the wrong direction. I'm not doing that one.
Well,
Now
basically,
I do look back on that now that I see what all she got going on, and be like, oh man, I might have should have locked that up. But I did. Hey, that's
sorry.
just the selfish side of me speaking because deep down inside, I didn't want to. I didn't want that. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying?
Because I was gonna
You
ask.
feel what I'm saying?
I feel what you're saying, but in the end, I was like, those were good lessons. But were you also putting up a wall between you and her? You know what I'm saying? Like, was she really the one? You know,
He
like,
wasn't the one.
see, even with
I
all the
knew it,
lessons you
but
were teaching,
no man or woman gets left behind when they cross my path.
Right.
So I'll find a sort of way to teach you the lesson that you need to be taught to get the outcome you want. Now, whether you're receptive to it, that's up to you.
Well, I mean, obviously, she wasn't receptive to it because she was still trying to get with
No, she
you.
was receptive to the lessons.
Mm-hmm.
So she still got the outcome she wanted, but it wasn't with me though.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Got a nice paying job. You can afford kids now. You
Mm-hmm.
living in a nice community where you can raise kids now. You
That's
also
true.
have a nice automobile, so you ain't on the bus.
That's true.
So it was
That
nothing
is
I could
true.
do with you because you were living the way you were living in the first place.
Mm-hmm. That
But
is true.
like I said, once we start communicating, like you were saying earlier, sometimes you gotta teach a person the language on how it go. It's not
Mm-hmm.
it's not always about it's not always about it's not always about you. It's not always about me.
Nope.
Sometimes you meet people to just strictly teach them how this go.
That's true.
And she's an RN now. She getting it, getting it,
Mm-hmm.
getting it, getting it,
Mm-hmm.
getting it. And I look from afar and be like,
I should have got it.
I could have, but
But in the end, it wasn't meant to be. So you
it wasn't gonna work. You know,
mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? Because not only after I done built all of that up, once again, I got this snake on my side that was hitting me for child support. So why would I let that go attack her? That's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be something that turn around and bite me twice.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm
She
saying?
was an innocent bystander. Mm-hmm.
So no, I'd rather for you to live a joyous life without me.
Exactly.
I ain't on settle down mode right now.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't
Mm-hmm.
on making more kids mode. Nah. Nah.
I feel you. I feel you. Well, looky here. We almost at the end of our time. This was
Oh,
a
really?
great one. Yeah. 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 It's 8:30,
Good.
sir.
No, you
Yeah.
did a good job.
We did. Look at us dropping wisdom everywhere.
Man, you heard me? And a lot of times it comes just by talking about your own personal experiences.
Yep. Yep.
You
Yep.
know what I mean? Don't you never have to live nobody else's life. Live your own. Talk about your
Mm-hmm.
own.
Mm-hmm.
Your own anecdotal experience can turn on the light for somebody else.
Exactly. Exactly. Because we are not alone on this rock. So
Man, there's somebody else in this boat rowing because I feel them. I just don't see
okay.
them.
Okay.
Man,
Sometimes it be turning around in circles. I be like, wait a minute, we need somebody on the other side. We
middle
gotta go
side, right?
straight.
We got too many people on one side of the boat, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Uh,
So before we run up out of here, you got any words of wisdom for us today?
I sure do. I'll end it with what I was just talking about.
Okay.
Always remember life isn't about you. Be willing to help others,
Mm-hmm.
even if it means you don't get the desired outcome you want. How selfish of you to think that you're supposed to be the one that get it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everybody you meet ain't for you to lay down with it. You might supposed to teach them a lesson, a good lesson on how to get what they want.
Exactly. Exactly. Great
And
words,
trust me, it
brother.
works. Trust me, it works. And when you see that smile on somebody else's face because they 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 got what they wanted, that's the most fulfilling thing that you can ever have. When you're doing it for somebody else, it's fulfilling.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. Take yourself, put your pride to the side, basically.
Man, this is
You
not
know,
about you, it's about us.
exactly. So that was great words of wisdom there. All right, fam. Well, we're gonna get ready to scoot on out of here. We will see y'all on the flip. Have a great
Peace
week.
out.